Hello, everybody, and welcome to Once Upon an Upside. We are back today to talk about the first four Christmas movies on UpTV. And I am Jess, your host, and Kari is back with me.
Hey, everybody, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, so UpTV has like kind of themes for every weekend that they're doing these movies. So the first weekend was like the royal movies. So we have two royal movies to start off with. The first one was a royal Christmas engagement. And summary was Lauren, a hardworking advertising executive, begins to fall for Paul, a consultant she has been paired with to land a big account for the upcoming holiday season. Unbeknownst to Lauren and everyone else, Paul is actually Prince Edward Charles, European royalty in disguise as a commoner. And this one is with Paige Bach, James Nitti, and John Schneider. So I think we both were very similar for these royal movies. We're like a little iffy, like as to whether we're going to enjoy a royal movie. But I thought both of these, this one and the next one that we'll talk about, were solid movies.
I did too. And first of all, I just want to say that the way that Up was kind of categorizing their weekends and each weekend has a theme, I love that. I thought that was really fun when the director of not the director, but when Rachel interviewed the Up lady, Christy, I think her name is, I'm sorry I got that wrong, but and she kind of went through and told the schedule. I was like, yes, I can totally get behind a themed weekend. So going into this knowing, okay, these are two royal movies. The royal movies are not typically my favorite. I kind of had low expectations for them. I thought they were great. Honestly, I thought they were really good movies. First of all, the royal Christmas engagement that you just read, the description for Jess. Okay, I kept going, I'm liking this movie. Why am I liking this movie? I'm sitting here like,
I had the same thought because I was like, I feel like I shouldn't be liking this movie as much as I am because, you know, at first I'm like, oh, she's kind of a little snobby and he's kind of arrogant and I feel like it shouldn't work, but it did. And I don't know why it did, but it did.
I'm not really sure why either. I had not seen these two people in anything else before. So this was totally my first, first experience with them. And they were really cute together. They must have had some good kind of banter chemistry or on-screen chemistry because they were really good together. And I said it in the preview and I totally think it works in this movie. Him coming to her turf and being kind of like undercover, I'm a prince but I'm here in the office type of thing was so good. Like that worked for me.
Yeah, I think definitely, like you said, that they had this chemistry. And I think too, because they both were strong personalities, but in a way, like it didn't clash. They somehow balanced it out because she was more of the serious, strong personality, and he was more of the lighthearted, strong personality. And so I think they were able to have that nice dynamic that did play out very well.
So I thought this was funny because I remembered Cammie saying in the preview that, it's funny that his name here is like Paul. But his actual name, his Prince Edward, and it doesn't even sound similar, but he was standing in for a friend. So I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Totally made sense once we heard the explanation.
Makes sense. The one thing I would say about this movie is it was cracking me up that it was an account all based on chocolate. This chocolatier from Europe wanted to bring their business to the US and really get in that competitive market. They did not handle chocolate until 40 minutes into the movie.
Yes. I had to laugh at the beginning because, well, first of all, this movie was kind of different because it started in a first person narrative, which most of the time they don't do that. And then it even had some she flashed right to the end, you see them together and the prince regalia or whatever. But they just had this whole thing about chocolate. And I was like, is this going to be a love story to chocolate?
But no.
And then they didn't talk about chocolate hardly after that. And I was like, oh, it was just really funny how they started it. It's it's going to be that one movie that was the love story to yoga, but this is going to be the love story to chocolate.
I remember that Up movie. That was way back in the spring. That was so funny. It
was a good one though. It was different, but
it was this yoga retreat, but it was totally a love story to yoga. Yeah, this was not Hallmark had that love, romance, and chocolate movie and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And it really wasn't. You never see them in the kitchen. They're not making chocolate. They truly are just the market researchers. They're just on the side of the business side, trying to see what works for this European chocolate to come over to the US. So that was
Right.
interesting,
Mhm.
but it was okay.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, because it was funny because she kept saying she didn't need help, and then I'm like, but you're not doing anything unless you're with him.
So funny. So she and Paul, well, who was Prince Edward,
Edward Charles.
um,
Yeah.
I thought they fell for each other really well paced. Like it was a really nicely paced kind of falling. Like they're spending a lot of time together. They're realizing they kind of respect each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're, and they're taking these little trips back to her hometown together and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it was charming.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they had those really nice scenes when she went back to her hometown. They had the nice little comic relief from I think his name was Patrick, the guy who was like
Yes. The
following
bodyguard.
him around,
Right.
making sure, I don't know, protecting him or whatever he was supposed to be doing.
Right.
They're all worried about him being recognized, when it's just like far off country that no one's ever heard of. But
I mean, honestly, you have this prince, this crown prince from another country wandering around without any bodyguards, without any sort of protection. I did get concerned for him. And I was like, I'm kind of glad Patrick's there, actually. What if something happened to this guy?
yeah.
So foolish.
Yes. But the press does eventually catch up with him because they run that little booth. People will be snapping some photos, and
Yep.
he gets recognized, and we kind of get to our conflict of her realizing you've been lying about who you are. And I was kind of conflicted with this conflict. I'm like, I kind of see your point, but I also see his perspective. Like he was just standing in, he didn't expect any of this to happen and he's just be like, hello, I'm a prince, by the way.
Right. But still, you're totally presenting yourself as someone else. Like you're coming on and you're with the intention of deceiving people until those people become flesh and bone and real people to you. And then you actually are like, oh no, what did I do?
Right.
So you're right. She kind of had a right to be upset by this one, I think. She was being herself 100%, falling for someone that she thought was real. And yet he wasn't. So did you like how she got over that? Kind of at the end there, he sticks around. He gives a donation to the to her work or something. So a Christmas donation, maybe.
Yeah, he gave him like $1 million, which I found a little strange. I don't know. It almost put me off a little bit. I'm like, you're just gonna like whip out this $1 million. I mean, like great contribution, but
well, he's not a philanthropist. He's a prince, I'm like,
yeah.
We're just throwing this money around just because it was a grand gesture, but still.
Yeah. But anyway, I think one of my favorite parts about this movie actually was her boss.
Yeah, John Schneider, who played her boss.
He would just kind of like have these little like quips, and I feel like we don't see that as often, like where he was kind of like hard on her because like she wasn't really being confident. Like one time he was like, Lauren, stop stammering, you need to sound more confident. And I'm like, he's killing me. Like it's just so funny.
Yeah, and how he was totally signing these Christmas cards, but he was stamping them, and I mean,
okay, you go.
He was a funny character. Yeah, he played that well.
So he had some good lines too.
It was
what else?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it started in first person and then it ends in first person, where she kind of gives these updates. Like my parents were able to take that European vacation they wanted. This happened to my friend, and I thought that was kind of cool. That was like a little old school rom-com type.
Yeah, like kind of like they're reading it as a fairy tale.
Yes, exactly.
It's probably what they were going for.
The happily ever after there. Well, at first I didn't really like him, but his character development over the course of the movie really won me over.
Mhm.
And with Prince Edward, and then I thought she was very American in the way that she approached her work and her the rivalry with him and stuff. So that
Right.
kind of won me over. That was kind of cool. And I mean, I was surprised. I was surprised at how much I liked A Royal Christmas Engagement.
Yeah, I was surprised as well.
And I had given it just an ordinary plain sucks. I'm not looking forward to this one very much at all. It's probably going to be fine. And it definitely bumped it up to, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
Are we rating these?
I think we're ready.
I think we're ready. I mean, it bumped it up to just a really solid up Christmas movie to me. So I'm going, 5 or even 6 out of 10, I think, with this one.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a 7.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah, it was a solid movie. For sure.
Yep, it got me.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast.
From the best-selling author of Hallmark's Heart's Landing series comes a heartwarming story of 4 friends.
These 4 women get a second chance at life, love, and happiness when they convert an aging beach house into a first-class inn and cafe.
Leigh Duncan's brand new Sugar Sand Beach series is the perfect escape for fans of Pamela Kelly, Rachel Hanna, and Debbie Maycomer.
Beginning with The Gift at Sugar Sand Inn, this is sweet women's fiction at its finest.
Escape to Sugar Sand Beach in this complete 5-book series, now available exclusively from Amazon and Kindle Unlimited.
For more information about Leigh, visit her website at leighduncan.com.
That's leighduncan.com.
Well, that's
all
fun.
right. The next one is Christmas with a Prince, the Royal Baby. And this one is happily married and expecting their first child. Princess Tasha and Prince Alec are settling into their lives as royals with lots of love and humor. When it's announced that the prince must set off on a royal tour, Tasha insists on accompanying him, even though she's incredibly pregnant. Much to the dismay of the king, things are going smoothly until a complication forces Tasha into bed rest for the remainder of her pregnancy. Knowing that the baby must officially be born on Sans Serra's soil, the team must scramble to figure out everything before the royal blessing arrives. This one is with Caitlin Lieb, Nick Hounslow, Josh Dean, and Charles Shaughnessy. So this is the third one in the series. I feel like I've seen one of them before, but I think it's been a really long time.
Okay.
So I approached it as if I had never seen them because I could not remember, and I didn't have time to go back and watch the other two.
And no, I had never seen this either. So I'm here watching this like as a standalone movie. Does this hold up as a standalone movie without knowing these characters and stuff before? And it did. It totally did to me. I was charmed by this movie. I mean, it really reminded me of kind of a Princess Diaries type of thing. It had some, didn't it? It had some humor. The secondary characters were so humorous. And I mean, just this really important small country having to solve its little problems, over in the US. Like, I was just charmed by this movie. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I was the same. Like, it definitely had a Princess Diaries feel. I even had a laugh at the scene where she's like, they're teaching her etiquette and she's like trying to figure out the spoons. And I'm like, girl, come on. Didn't you watch Princess Diaries? You start out and work your way in.
I'm like, why now? Why in the third movie is she just doing this?
Learning her etiquette. But, I think what mostly worked for me in this movie was it was very like humorous and comical. And she was kind of this nice, kind of fiery personality that I really liked. So it worked for me as well. I mean, there was just a few moments where I felt like things got a little slow, but yeah, it was definitely a good one.
Well, in those moments too, I was like, okay, so this is the third movie, the third movie in this trilogy that I think is well loved, actually, and Cammie had told us in the preview that this couple really worked for her well. They had good kind of on-screen chemistry and stuff. And I thought she's totally right. I liked the two of them together. Yes. Because I liked Tasha's fiery attitude and I liked how the prince just adored that. And he didn't try to change her, he just adored it.
Right.
This brother of hers was hilarious.
Oh my goodness, when he has the ring in the kitchen and he just flings it into the sink, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so funny.
And she's like, okay, are you coming? He goes, I'm just gonna stay here and let things sink in.
I know, it was like all the puns were so good.
He was so funny. Yeah, I thought he was great. So the whole shtick with them hanging up on the king every time, like the face. Anytime they didn't like what he was saying or the direction they were going, and they would just hang up on him. Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Yes, that was a great little runner like through the whole thing. And then especially like at the end when he turns it on them and he hangs up on them. And I'm like, yes, this is beautiful.
So cute. So of course, it's not a surprise that she has twins. It has to be that dramatic reveal, especially when they made it a thing, we're having a boy. Well, you don't know we're having a boy. We could be having a girl, Of course they're gonna have one of each.
Yeah, I didn't really expect the twin thing. I can't say I really foresaw that. I thought it would be a girl if they would like kind of do what they did and like force the change in the thing. But honestly, I was actually a little surprised because once I found it was twins, I thought they were going to try to do some kind of like dual, like not dual like DUEL, but like they were both going to be like heirs somehow. I don't know how that would work because it really logistically does not make sense. But seeing as these like babies were born like a minute apart, I'm like, well, they're kind of both deserve the crown, right? Even
exactly, they both do, but they kind of change the laws, change kind of the prediction of the firstborn being a boy who's the heir. So this little twin was the firstborn was a girl, and so they allowed her to be the heir. I kind of got a little emotional when they finally like solve this problem and they make a certain portion of the hospital sans serraz soil, and they like wheel her into this room, and it has the flags and it has the royal setting and stuff.
She has to stamp her passport to get in the room.
They needed the passport exactly to like even get in the room, to make it very official that this is sans serraz soil. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but
yeah, it's the way they wrote it like on our like summary is like Saraz, but I swear they were pronouncing it
Sansaran or something like that.
Or like what I thought it was pronounced Savar almost when they said it.
Sansavar. Yeah, that's right.
Because we don't really know what this place is called.
Okay, so whatever their country is called, we're newbies here to the trilogy.
Yeah, someone correct us.
Sorry about that. But they made it very official, and I thought that was really precious and really sweet, and a great way to solve the problem, I guess.
Yeah, reading the fine print.
Yes,
it doesn't have to be about gender. It's about who came up first.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And I just love too, like all those scenes with like the children as well at the hospital. I thought Alex was so precious with them when he's like in there and they're making their little paper crowns, and I'm like, that is so sweet.
He's letting them put stickers on his blazer, his royal attire. He was so sweet with them, and he was very sweet with her, with Tasha. And I mean, I could see her desire to get back into the hospital, to start practicing again, to, you don't want to lose a part of yourself that way.
Right.
Just because you're this princess now. So I even thought her solution in the end was really smart, really nice, to create like a children's hospital of her own in Zanzibar,
Right. I mean, after all those years of medical school, you don't just want to abandon that. It's a lot of time you put into that degree.
Exactly. So it was really sweet. I thought it held up even on its own quite well. It was fun to watch. The characters won me over quite a bit. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they try to continue the story.
I know. I wonder. They could. They probably could.
Yeah. Could we have a lot of mischief with two little ones running around?
Right. Trying to figure out how the brother and now his new, fiance Bella, I think it was Bella.
Yeah.
How they play into it. Does he come over and work at this hospital? That was really funny too, how they both like turned around and got down on one knee at the same time together.
He proposed together.
Cute.
Oh,
Funny. So this one was fun. I say good job on the third installment. It would be fun to go back and watch the first two.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I agree. They did a good job for the third one because, sometimes by that time the story can get a little tired, but I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, me too.
So
Me
I gave
too.
it another 7.
Good job. I gave this
Lucky
another
number
6.
7. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's time to move on to week 2 of UpTV, and these were like the snowed in movies. So lots of snow, and before I even talk about it, I thought the snow looked real on a couple of these.
Yes.
I was like, real snow, yes.
There's real snow, and you could tell because the sky was gray, like an actual snowy place that they lived in. So I'm like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, because we're like Midwest gals, so we need our real snow. That fakey snow, that like a giant like clump of like stuff just sticks to their hair. We're like, no.
Right. We
Can't
can
do
tell. We can tell.
We know what real snow is.
Yeah. They're actually getting cold outside in their scenes,
Right. Yes. I love a movie when you can see their breath. I'm like, it's actually cold out.
Yeah. So this snowed in weekend was one I had anticipated quite highly. And I gave both of these two movies just based on the little blurb and the people in it and the anticipation of this awesome theme. I gave both of them diamond rings.
You did.
So
and I think I did for the second. I think the first one I gave like snowman socks after I learned of the snowman plot line of it all.
Yeah. Well, this is my storyline that I love. I love the forced proximity. I love the hey, let's figure each other out because we're here and we're stuck, and
Right.
So I was really super, super hopeful for both of these movies.
Yes. Okay, so the first one was A Snowy Christmas. Unlucky in love city lawyer Kelly Mitchum returns home to spend Christmas with her family. As she dreams of finding the perfect man, she meets handsome contractor Forrest Newell, and he ticks all the boxes. Now with her family's home at risk of demolition, will Forrest be able to help? And will the magic of Christmas be enough to save it? Stars Alicia Rutaro and Damon Runyon. So,
love seeing Alicia in a movie in a leading role. I really like her a lot. And I think this is what we call, can we go here? Can we just go there?
Just go there.
This is what we call the unfortunate situation when a bad movie happens to a good actress.
Yes, it happens, and it happens to the best of them. So we don't judge on that.
No.
But this story, it had promise, with this whole magical snowman story. I'm like, this can be really fun, but they just didn't quite deliver.
It didn't. And I was ready. I was ready to go into a magical snowman. I wanted him to be a magical snowman. Like my heart was open to the possibility that there was going to be some magic here. And
frosty magic.
He was not. He wasn't a magic snowman. He was a real man. And I did like his character though. I thought he was really fun, really kind of sweet. Ends up he was working for his dad's company, I think, and scouting out the land and everything, but he goes in and he falls in love with this place and the land and her. So he doesn't want to be a part of selling it. They have to foreclose this family home. He doesn't want to be a part of it. She finds out he is a part of it, but it actually is Forrest Newell Sr., his dad, who's a part of it, So she just gets super mad at him. And couple scenes where he's trying to explain and she's just not listening.
She won't even let him at all. I felt that was my part of my problem. It felt really over dramatized of a blowout. I'm like, girl, just hear him out.
Just hear him out. Like I can take one of those scenes maybe, but not 2, not 3. Like just hear him out. You like him so much, like
calm down and then hear him out.
Yes. Yeah. So, I don't know, Jess. Like I said, I wanted to like this movie so badly, and I was ready for some snowman magic, and it just kind of fell short on some of the things that I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I just didn't think it had enough to really drive the plot forward. But I also just had a hard time understanding the romance because I didn't feel like they really spent that much time together. And then all of a sudden they're like in love, and she's so mad that he betrayed her. And it's like, but you like went on like 2 walks together and you're in love. And I was like, I need more than that. I'm not convinced of this relationship.
Yeah, because I could see her fall, and I could see why, because she like had this idea of this perfect man, and then he shows up and she's like, oh my gosh, maybe there is magic attached to the snowman.
Mm-hmm.
But him, I was like, she's really great and all, but I needed more from him as far as like, kind of being into her. I did think they had some really cute moments though on their walks in the woods. Especially with the 10 feet tall, like that's how
that was cute. I will give them that.
that was cute. That was really cute. Like marking out where they how tall they felt or something. And that was so cute.
Yeah.
So, but I was like you, I need a little more though. I need a little more than that.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there was just some confusing parts, why is she running around the city and making a call from a phone booth? How does she have change in her pockets? Nobody carries change anymore,
No, not really.
That I told you, I texted you, but that lost me at that point. I was like, no, don't put a random phone booth in this movie. I'm already.
And then didn't even hang it up when she was finished? She just left it off the hook.
Total rookie. So now her mom, I thought she played kind of a tragic little character, just like she's sad and the dad's gone. She's trying to keep things afloat, but so she's kind of living in this la la land, and the sister and her husband come in and support her at this place. And yeah, I think that they all felt really kind of, I felt like this character Kelly was attacked quite a bit. Like, you don't love this place. You don't. It's like, yes, she does. Can't you love it from far away? It's your home. It's your childhood home. Like, don't doubt that she doesn't love it because she doesn't come home sometimes. I was kind of put off by that a little bit too, but I like how it ended. I like that everything was saved and it was historic landmark,
Yes, the classic historical landmark. So like, if you're in a situation, just go right to historical landmark because
go right there.
Always works. Always.
So Forrest, the magical snowman man, quote unquote, makes it happen, keeps it. He wants to be around because he loves this place too now. So love it, happily ever after. But how we got there was just a little frustrating.
Yes. So, yes.
I want to see him in more movies. Damon Runyon. I want to see her in more lead roles. I would love them. I'd like to see a do-over of this movie.
Yes. And let's make Frosty magical this time.
Let's make him magical.
Like that. Oh, what's that one? Snowman's that Rachel talks about? I've never seen it, but I hear it's actually like a magical snowman.
I'm ready.
We need to watch this one and compare.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I want to see it.
All right. What did you end up rating this one?
Well, sadly, I ended up rating it kind of low. I gave it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I am pretty much right there. 4 out of 10.
Yeah, about a 4 out of 10. Yeah, I think that it couldn't go any higher. It really couldn't. And I'd be curious to hear from someone who liked it.
Yes. If you liked it, we want to hear from you because as we know, all this stuff can be pretty subjective. So I'm sure there's someone out there who really liked the sort of not magical snowman. With real snow.
Yes, with real snow. That was very nice. So we do want to hear from you because exactly like Jess said, this could have just hit someone at that right exactly what they needed that night. So let us know if you liked a snowy Christmas.
Yes. And let us know if you went out and built a snowman and then your dream man showed up after you built the snowman.
Yeah.
I think we need to try this too. Put this theory to the test.
I would like a testimonial. Definitely.
Hey Hallmarkies, it's time to take a quick break to talk about something super fun. How would you like to party with your favorite celebrities from the Christmas and seasonal movies that you love so much? If you enjoy watching romantic dramas on network television and streaming services, you don't want to miss the Rama Drama live event coming soon in 2022. Spend the weekend escaping into the Rama Drama world and meeting your favorite on-screen celebrities like Trevor Donovan, Ryan Pavey, Andrew Walker, Jen Lilly, Wes Brown, Brittany Bristow, Aaron Cahill, Rob Mays, and more. These fan-focused in-person parties cater to movie lovers just like you. Make memories, leave with photos, autographs, swag, and an exceptional experience to last a lifetime. Join us in Palm Beach, Florida on January 7th through 9th, 2022 at the Palm Beach Convention Center. You can get more information and your tickets from ramadrama.com. Again, that's ramadrama.com.
All right. Time for our last one, which was Snowed In for Christmas. And this one is Kaylee, a young au pair, finds herself unable to return home for the holidays when a snowstorm derails her plans. In spite of her own disappointment, she is determined to teach the girls she watches alongside their charming uncle the magic of Christmas. Will this series of events lead to a perfect Christmas? And this stars Kayla Wallace and Jeremy, I still don't know how to say his last name.
Gilbo.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, this was my second highly anticipated movie, and I gave it a very high rating of a pre-rating of a diamond ring. And I am happy to announce that it was a diamond ring for me. This was a great movie. I love
it. It definitely held up to the anticipation. And of course, we have two of these wonderful actors. We have this close proximity storyline. And we have two cute little girls. I mean, how could
they were great child actors. They were not annoying. Like you have this whole thing where the parents are it's actually the parents who are snowed in somewhere else that they can't make it out to back home for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And this au pair, she now, because the parents are gone, she has to stay. She can't make it home to her house for Christmas.
Right.
Because this uncle has he hasn't seen the kids in like 4 years.
Right. He's glued to his cell phone. I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. He almost burns down the house.
He almost burns down the house. She's like, I need to stay for everybody's safety.
Yes.
So I think they have a really great start, actually, with a little contentious, she's just annoyed. She's like, you need me here. I have to stay. Yes. And he kind of accepts that. He slowly starts to get into putting his phone down, spending time with the girls, making these Christmas memories. He's really, you can tell he's there because he likes this au pair. He likes her, but he's also loving his nieces and getting to know them, like building a real relationship with them. So he is just great to me. I really, really liked him. Ethan.
Yes. Uncle Ethan.
Uncle Ethan. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, he was great. She was great. Everyone was just really great. And honestly, it's kind of surprising because there really isn't much of a plot. They're just completing things on like the Christmas checklist, really. Yeah. And so I think it's a really good testament to the writers that they were able to make something that wasn't like a big driving force of a plot. Like there wasn't anything big really happening, but they still made it enjoyable the whole time.
They did, which I think highlighted their relationship, how they were falling for each other. They're really playing house this whole time, kind of having these girls for a couple of days. Each night they put them to bed and kind of have this little powwow in the hallway, discussing the day a little bit. And I thought that was really cute. I was like, oh yeah, they're totally playing house. And
of course they are. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Sweetest gesture.
Yes.
He brought her parents to them. If she couldn't leave, he brings her parents to them. And I just thought that was adorable.
That was like the best gesture, I think, ever in a movie. because it was very different. I mean, it's not one of those big gestures you see a lot, and it was so meaningful. And then her excitement when she saw her parents, and then she gives him this giant hug, and I was like, oh, this is so cute.
Yeah, he feels like, the star of the day. I mean, he just feels so great, and it was so thoughtful and so precious, and a really, really just a very real gesture, I thought.
Yes. And then she returns the favor because he is this kind of like closet artist. He tells her, oh, it's just something I do when I'm bored. And she was like, be bored more because you're really good. And I was like, oh, that was so sweet. And then she set up the whole thing with him and the girls to do the art. So they both had these really like nice and equally meaningful gestures for each other. That really was quite great. I thought.
Which signified to me how much they really saw each other and understood each other, and they were building, even in a short couple days, felt like they were building a genuine relationship that could last.
Right.
So,
and they really knew what mattered to the other person. They
Yeah.
knew what was important deep down. So
yeah. Okay, so she gets the insight that he's living in London for years. Her friend kind of recognizes him, but she doesn't know why. And so you're like, oh no, what's going on?
Yes, what is going on?
Well, he, I guess, had been engaged to a British hotel heiress. And so he was in like the British tabloids and just broke it off because he was supposed to get married that Christmas, I think, but he had broken it off. So she just feels betrayed by this information. She had no idea this Patricia, this old girlfriend that they had talked about, was who she was, and it was as deep as it was, and but I really appreciated her mom's pep talk.
Yes.
I mean, her mom just she listened, but she gave her such good kind of just guidance, like, he didn't lie to you. He didn't. Oh, I wrote it down, I thought, but I just thought it was a really nice. Oh, she said, he didn't lie to you about anything. I think you're just scared because you want this to be real. And she's like, it is real, like let the actions speak for themselves.
Right.
Like, it is real.
Yeah. And she talked about too, like, it's probably just really painful for him. And I'm like, it's probably true. I mean, you just had this whole thing happen. Like, nobody wants to talk about that, especially with someone you just met. I mean, they hadn't known each other that long. So
Yes.
Mother to the rescue with some
really good guidance. And she does come around and she does find herself able to forgive him. I mean, he didn't ask for, but move on from what she felt like betrayed about, I guess. But she also overhears him making a promise to the kids that he will bring the parents home. And she's like, you can't make promises to kids like that.
I understood her frustration there because I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. Like,
no. Not do that.
Especially about something that big. Like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Your parents will get home.
Right. But he actually pulls through and he actually does get the parents home.
Yes.
And she's shocked by this. So that was kind of a sweet moment. He was really, really reliable, really charming to me. I thought he was really respectful of her. And I was so excited to see at the very end, they're going to have a connection. They're going to have a let's talk out our future type of talk.
Yeah.
How relieved were you to see him pull her aside to a private conversation? I loved that.
We don't need any big room announcements declaring our love. Please don't do that. It's so awkward.
This is such an important conversation that you need to have. Like, how many times do I yell at my TV? Pull her aside, take her to the other room, like.
Yes.
And he did that this time. I loved it.
Oh my gosh. I thought it was so funny though at the very end when they're out on the porch and talking and the girls are watching and they kiss and I don't know why it just struck me so funny, but the faces the girls made, I started laughing so hard that tears came to my eyes because their expressions were just priceless.
I totally agree. I totally wrote that down too. It's like their faces when they're au pair and their uncle kiss, like That's what they wanted. They wanted them together, but then
They're like, what?
I know it's just like children to see it actually happen and be like, ew, gross.
Yes. Like, don't look, no.
That was so cute. I thought that was so cute. So we end with them like definitely embarking on a new relationship, but both of them are like going to move to New York.
They're going to be
Start
together.
Be together.
Great. I do have to say, I did have a tiny disappointment with this movie.
What is it?
They had the part with the karaoke. And I thought it was so fun that he was like actually singing, like it sounded real. And then they like played over the rest of it. I was like, no, if you're going to do karaoke, like let them sing. And Kayla Wallace is a very accomplished singer. I'm like, let her sing, people.
That is so sad. They should have totally let them sing.
I was like, I want to hear her sing because she's really good. So that was my beef with them. Like, let the people sing. Nobody is really that bad of a singer. And if they are, it just goes with the theme of karaoke and we'll enjoy it. So it's great.
That's true. That's funny. They did kind of slow down a certain parts to like slow-mo. And I was kind of like, well, that was really long. That was it was just an interesting choice. Interesting choice for the movie.
Yeah.
Let them sing.
Let them sing. Let the people sing, especially when they're singers.
Yeah.
but anyway.
Oh, funny.
But yeah, overall, I mean, there was a lot of good stuff in this. There was a lot of cute moments with the girls, the snowball fights, karaoke, Christmas sweaters. I mean, they had it all in there.
Yeah,
jam-packed full of Christmas.
It was, and yet they also like in the meantime they were building a real relationship, and you can see that both of them are just like they go from kind of playing enemies to playing house to actually looking forward to a future together. It was all very believable to me. And I love how he asked her out on a date, even like, will you go tonight? You know,
and the parents help make it happen. They're like, well, watch the girls, you two go ahead.
So cute. I loved it. He just was a hero to me. I love this movie. So, like I said, my diamond ring holds up, and I have given this one. I mean, I'd be surprised if there was one that surpasses this one in the up lineup for me this Christmas, but I'll just have to wait and see. Because this one got like a 9 out of 10 for me.
Whoa.
No.
This is the one to beat. I gave it an 8. I wasn't quite that high, but still very, very good.
Still very
good in my book. It takes a lot to get a 9 or a 10 from me. I'm a little stingy with my 9s and 10s, but it was very, very good.
Well, this had, I mean, I liked these two actors together so much. I liked the story. I liked the premise. All the side characters kind of added to the story really well, in my opinion. It was Christmassy. It was fun. Yeah, it was a good one. Well, I'm glad to hear you liked it too.
I know. I think this is probably like the one time we agreed on like everything.
Pretty much did. We were very close. Very close.
That Christmas magic.
Well, that was fun. That was a fun start to the Up lineup. We are
strong start.
Strong start, a third of the way through, or a little more.
Yeah, a little more. And then what are the themes for the next two?
Oh yeah,
like Save the Town, I think.
Christmas in the City.
Christmas in the City.
Uh-huh. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it's Snowden weekend, Christmas in the City weekend, and then Small Town Christmas. So we have upcoming these next ones are Christmas in the City weekend, 2 weekends of movies with Christmas in the City, and then Christmas, Small Town Christmas.
So we get
that'll
both
be fun.
Big city and small town.
2 different spectrums. I love it.
Yeah, so lots to look forward to still. Let us know what you guys thought about these 4 movies. I mean, we liked 3 out of 4 of them, so I think that's really good.
I think it's good.
So let us know what you thought. If you have any other comments you want to add, and be sure to be following us on all the social media platforms. And Kari, where can people find you?
People can find me at Hallmark Comics on Instagram.
All right. You can find me at Jess BSW Blog on Twitter and Instagram. And we will see you next time for the next 4 movies to recap.
See you next time. Happy watching.
Bye, everybody. Merry Christmas.